What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is the Real Housewives of Dallas season 4 episode 1. So look, y'all know how this goes. The first episode is basically a catch you up. Let me tell you what's been going on since the end of the season. So I'm gonna just go lady by lady and run down what's been going on, and I'm gonna start with the boring and work our way up to the, I ain't gonna say boring, but some people didn't really get a lot of storyline in this first episode. So we'll start off with Cameron. Miss Cameron wasn't really in a lot of this episode. She was on her way on a cruise, honey. They were going on a family cruise, but we see that Cameron is still Cameron, baby. Cameron is still Cameron. Let me tell you what I do like about Cameron. Cameron is a loyal little friend. Her and Leanne are still really cool, and there was a situation where, Leanne and Deandra still are not friends. We'll get to them in a minute. We'll get to them in a minute. But the ladies were trying to set Leanne up on Deandra up on a friend-intervention, whatever. And Cameron couldn't make it because she was on her way on her little cruise. But she very nicely and promptly got on the phone, called Leanne, and said, "Look, I just want to let you know, in case you did not know, what you walking into. By all means, if you ready to talk to Deandra and all that, you go ahead and you talk to Deandra. But I just want to let you know what you running into. I just want to let you know what you running into." And so there was that. But that's pretty much, we saw another little scene with her and, I want to say her with the new lady. There's a new housewife this year, and she's kind of old but new. Like, we met her in season 1, but she was like just in a couple of episodes. But she's actually on the show this season because Carrie is a friend of the show. She's just going to be doing a friend of the show, and I don't think it's because she wasn't asked to come back. I think she's just really busy. Carrie legit is running her clinic. And is legit making good money doing that. And so I just think she just didn't have the time. Let's talk about Stephanie. Stephanie doing really well. Her and hubby are doing well, honey. Her husband went back to Harvard and did another little business session. And she said things went really well. We see them having a good time at the beginning of the episode. We didn't see the boys too much this episode, but we did see them. And we see her have a conversation with her husband about helping Deandra out. I'll get to that in a minute about why Deandra needs her husband's help. But they're pretty much in a good place. She said that they're in a really, really, really good place, relationship wise, and that her husband is knocking on 50, and that he is doing this whole midlife crisis thing. They show footage of him jumping out of a plane, and he's going to the gym and getting buff, and she said he's just, but in a good way. Like she said, it's a lot of great stuff going on. We see that her and Brandy are still, going strong. They're still good friends and going strong, and that Brandy, they're setting up this friend intervention for Leanne and Deandra because Leanne and Deandra are still not speaking. The new character, her name is also Carrie. Now, I'm not quite sure where we're going with this Carrie thing because all she kept talking about, she was talking about how she sort of has a problem with Cameron. Because was it Cameron she does a problem with? Her and Deandra are really good friends. They're really good friends. Is it Leanne? It might be Leanne. Maybe it's Leanne she has a problem with because, it's one of those, you did my friend wrong, so I got a problem with you kind of thing. Also, we see that she, her and her husband have sort of a Brady Bunch thing going on. They both have children from their previous marriage, and they have that blended family thing working. We see that she's dealing with some teenage, pain in the butts. Her daughter is a brat. But I don't want to say rich people brat. But like she's mad. She's arguing with her mom about how late she has to stay out on a school night. And growing up, and I don't know if this is a rich thing, cultural thing, whatever, but I don't understand that mindset because growing up, I could not go out on a school night. Like, there were no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, I remember, okay, quick story. I remember there was a concert coming through, and I want to say it was New Edition. But don't quote me on that one. But what I do know is the show was on like a Thursday night, and I did not even ask my mom if I could go. Now, let me explain to y'all. I ain't never missed no New Edition show when I was a kid. Every time New Edition came to DC, I was there. But I didn't even ask. I didn't even ask my mom. And she ended up getting me tickets. And I was like, what? What? And mind you, I was in high school when this happened. And basically, it was, well, I know you like No Audition, blah, blah, blah. And I told her why I didn't even ask. And she said, okay, but we're going to see how this works out. And basically, it was like my probation to see if I was going to go to that concert, still get my butt up, go to school, and not have no problems. And I knew that I had to do it perfect, or I was never going to go out during the week again. So when I'm sitting here watching this girl negotiate with her mom about how late she can go out, and it was to a party in the middle on a school night, and she was just so bratty about it. But she was a teenager, okay? And I sort of expect that from teenagers. Now, I'm going to get to Brandy in a minute, and I'm going to tell you. Brandy got a whole nother set of problems. So, she was also talking about this Carrie, how hard her marriage is, and how, her and her husband, when they first hooked up, they were getting it in the bathroom, honey, and how now it's just sort of stale and boring. So I think that is going to be part of her storyline, is maybe something going on with her marriage or whatever. I hope it doesn't go too deep, because I hate to see her come on this show and just tell too much of her business. I mean, your marriage and the status of your marriage and all that, that's too much. But neither here nor there. So Miss Brandy, the adoption of Bruin is final. Bruin belongs to them. He is 100% theirs. My issue with this whole Brandy situation, and I've been saying this for 4 seasons, probably 3 seasons, because I probably didn't have a whole lot to say season 1. But that little girl of hers is a brat. And you need to yank her little ass up. Brandy, you need to yank her little ass up. She was so disrespectful to Brandy. And so nasty to Brandy. And I am not one of those people that feels like, oh, she's a child, it's okay. She knows exactly what she's doing. And she knows what she's saying. And she knows she's being rude. She knows she's being rude. And if she's old enough to know that she's being rude, then she's old enough to get her ass checked up. And you let her know that you are the mother. You're not going to disrespect me. I don't understand it. And Brandy was laughing. And I don't know why she's so mean to me. She is your child. She doesn't get to be mean to you. Not to your face. Now, if she want to mumble under her breath after she walks away from you, or go in her room and call you all kinds of you-know-whats or whatever, then that's her prerogative, because we all did that as kids. But I'd be damned if I did it to my mama's face and got away with it and still had teeth. That's probably what's wrong with my teeth now. Probably got smacked too many times. But neither here, and I'm not saying she should I ain't saying she should smack her child. Don't put no words in my mouth. I'm saying my mama smacked me. But she does need to jack her ass up. That little girl was rude. Oh, she was rude. She was so rude to Brandy. But other than that, things going pretty good over at the Redmond home. So let's get over to the 2 main events. Deandra and Leanne still have not. They made up at the reunion, or at least there was an apology at the reunion, but they haven't spoken since. I guess Leanne thinks that since Deandra blew up the friendship, Deandra should be wanting to reach out to her. Deandra feels like, she said that, I know I agreed to go to friends counseling when we were at the reunion, but I just think that's stupid. Okay, well, you agreed to do it. But clearly, no one has reached out to the other one in the 3 months since the reunion, and I guess they started filming 3 months after the reunion. Leanne is planning her wedding. She wants to have a really nice wedding, understanding that Leanne has never been married, and this is something she's been wanting her whole life. There are brides like that, and I get it. I'm not one of those women. I think at this point, if I ever get married, we're just going to fly off to an island somewhere, get it done, under the sunset, barefoot at the beach, and bring our happy asses on back home, okay? But I get it. That's what she wants. She said that because she has done so much in the city of Dallas, there are a lot of people that are doing favors for her to help her make this wedding affordable. People know that she doesn't come from money, but, going back to season 1, Leanne has done a lot of charity work, and a lot of people know and like her in the city who are in a position to do things. So I like that. That's great. As much as Leanne might be a little crazy, I do think that that's nice. You know, you do good deeds, and it's nice when those good deeds come back around and bless you. So that's great. Um, Deandra. Mama D set Deandra up, y'all. Mama D done set Deandra up. Let me tell you something. I was starting to like her mama last season. Her mama with her little country ass sayings last season. I was starting to kind of come around to her. Honey, her mama done set her up. Do you hear me? Remember last year and the year before, really, where this whole thing was about the business and giving her the business and letting her take over the business. Remember at the end of last season, her mama finally signed over that business to her. That's because the business was about to go broke. And not only was the business about to go broke, and Deandra did not know, her mama was instructing the accountant not to tell Deandra how bad the financial was and how bad the cash flow was. They only have enough working capital for the next 3 months, honey. And they are only in a position to maybe put one of their products out. That's how broke this company is right now. Which takes me back to what I was saying with Stephanie was sort of talking to her husband about, you know, he sort of went through the same thing with his father's company. Now, his father ain't set him up. But his father's company was not, the cash flow wasn't as great. And what her husband ended up doing, and now the money, they're making like $75 million a year or something like that. And so she was saying, basically, can you kind of talk, you know, would you be willing to sit down and talk to Deandra, you know, just kind of help her out? And now, and of course, also he's been going to Harvard, honey. He's been going to Harvard and getting those Harvard business lessons. Deandra can't touch her trust. These are rich people problems because I don't have no trust. So I don't know how trust work. And I'm sure that you can write a trust for it to be whatever it is you want your trust to be. I'm sure you can make it say what you want it to say so that it'll do what you want it to do. And so what it sounds like is, because Deandra's about to be 50, and I was like, I ain't never heard of a trust that by the time you 50, you still can't touch the money. Like, that's crazy. But what Deandra said was basically that is her retirement. So I guess her father felt like, who's technically her stepfather, but he raised her, so he's her father. I guess he was like, whatever Deandra does with her life, however she might fuck it up, I'm at least make sure she can live comfortably after her retirement. Because that's what it sounds like. If she can't touch it till retirement, then, I mean, who's to say she would have lived that long? Like, that's crazy. But she's, of course, her mother told her, you can't touch that. You can't touch your trust to help you get out this business. Honey. What it sounds like is that the company used to advertise on Christian TV. And I guess for whatever reason, they made a decision that they were no longer going to advertise on Christian TV and do the infomercials on Christian TV. Why they decided that, I don't know. But that has really hurt their cash flow. And Deandra said she knew that they were losing money, but she did not know how bad it was. And so she said, you know, a part of her is angry at her mom because she feels like her mother set her up. She did. Oh, she set you up. She got everything she was going to get out that company, and she got the hell out. So we see when she's talking to her mom, because when her mother left, her mother basically left and said that she needs $70,000 a year living expenses. So Deandra is basically asking her mom, she took a pay cut in salary, and she's asking her mom, pretty much, can she forego that $70,000 so that they can put more products out and try to really, you know, just make the sacrifices. She was all nervous asking her mother, and she was all worried about asking her mother. And when she finally said it to her mom was like, yeah, sure. Deandra was like, you mean to tell me I've been sitting here trying to worry about how to word this to you, and you just like, yeah, sure. And Deandra kept going and kept talking to her mom about it. I was like, Deandra, you better take the win and get the hell on. You better take that win and get the hell on for your mama change her mind. And then her mother started talking about, well, I have plenty of money. I have plenty of money. I don't need the money. I have plenty of money. I guess you do. I guess you do. Because you done sat there and you done took all you could take out the money, out the company, and you left me scraps. I said, oh, her mama done set her up. So we'll see how that plays out as the season goes on. Excuse me. Last but not least, we see that we see that Deandra and Leanne are having this friend invention over to Stephanie's house, and Stephanie and Brandy are there, and they're trying to mediate this whole friend invention thing. And to make a long story short, both of them did some dirty stuff to each other, but neither one of them wants to. They both want to feel like what the other person did to them was worse than what they did to that person. So in Deandra's mind, what Leanne did to her was worse by telling all of Dallas that she was broke. She feels like that was worse than her telling Leanne, Rich is cheating on you and you need to basically admit it and deal with it. And vice versa for Leanne. She feels like, her telling her that her fiance was cheating on her was worse than the financial disclosure situation. And then this thing came up where Rich sent some text messages to Deandra's husband, basically saying, "Look, if your wife don't stop, if your wife don't keep her name out my mouth, I'm about to let all of Dallas know about your mistress." And he had the name. He had some details. Now let me say this: I don't know Rich that well, so I can't say that Rich was I can't say that Rich was telling the truth or lying. I don't know if he's a good liar. Good liars can tell a story. Good liars can come up with a story, baby, that has all sorts of details and specific situations that have you thinking that they got to be telling the truth because this is such a detailed story, and then you find out later that they lying. I don't know if Rich is that person or not, but what I will say is it was very specific. He had a woman's name, profession. He had some specifics in his text messages to Deandra's husband. Now, Deandra played it off, talking about something. There is no way that my husband is cheating on me. Famous last words. Never say never. Never say never, boo. So, I don't know what's going to happen with that, but the resolution that they came to pretty much was we're gonna move forward, but we're gonna take baby steps. And Leanne is like, I'm gonna wait and see what Deandra shows me because right now we all doing a whole lot of talking, but I'm gonna see what really happens when we get past tonight. So we'll see. I feel like that's gonna be a theme throughout this season is their relationship. But we'll see how this works out, y'all. But that was pretty much the first episode, Real Housewives of Dallas. We'll see what these girls got for us this season. Let me know what you think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.